Hi all, Phillip Thompson here again. Thanks everyone for tuning in last time and listening. And a part of what we spoke about last time was bringing in special guests. Before I introduce my special guest, I just wanted to recap on last night and what people are thinking and the emails that I've got. I've received quite a number of emails about the current affair, talking about suicide, and spoke a little bit about mental illness, but it was a big focus on suicide. So I thought, who better to talk us through what we can do in the community and for each other around suicide than Adriel Burley. Adriel is the project manager for the Townsville Suicide Prevention Network.
Hi everyone. My name's Adriel and I'm the manager of the Suicide Prevention Network, as Phil said. And that's a community network to tackle the issue of suicide prevention. We have launched a community action plan to see a new vision for our city by 2020. So I'm glad that I've been asked today to come and speak.
Thanks.
One of the key things that I got out of listening to the TV show A Current Affair last night was about how people may wish to choose to help themselves, help their family. And one key thing is some sort of mental health first aid or intervention program that they can train up to help themselves. And that's particularly a key thing when we're looking to help our loved ones, particularly in summertime when many of the services are shut. So just, I'm glad I'm here to share that today. One of the things that I'm key to talk about is that even if we don't have training, it is about us checking in on each other. I think mostly societal issues mean that we're often isolated from each other, even if we live next door, even if we see each other at the street or up at the pub, but we don't really know each other. And I think it's important that what we describe as expand our mate space, that we check in on each other. And it doesn't mean that you have to be trained up for years and years. It just simply means that you might look in your contacts list on your phone and say, hey, I haven't heard from these people in 6 months. I'm going to check in on them. Not just a Merry Christmas, but, you know, sort of, are you okay and what's next after that, particularly if the answer is no, I'm not okay.
Yeah, I think it's important and to expand on gatekeeper training.
Yeah.
I've done a few myself, and like many of the people that were listening, they've done some themselves as well. And we've all been in pretty dark places. I've been in a dark place. I'm sure you have as well. Yeah. Can you tell us what are some good gatekeeper training or some good training that people out there can do to bolster their knowledge? Yeah. And also, people say, and a question I ask myself is, well, how long do I wait before I call someone? Do I just go through my phone and call everyone? What's the best? Are there signs and symptoms that people aren't tracking well in the suicide prevention space?
Yeah. So often you'll find in this area, and this is not to mean that everyone needs to become a counsellor overnight or chase people or harass people, any of that matter. It's just simply understanding that there are some warning signs that people give out. And sometimes that's a level of distress. Sometimes it's a calmness that they have. That's important to know the myths that are busted and those things that need to be learned from those tips out of some of these intervention programs. Some of them are as short as an hour and are online. Some of them are 3 hours. One of the ones that's quite accessible around the country is Safe Talk, 3 hours. You get a mental health first aid, suicide prevention, 4 hours. Cause in Queensland and Tasmania, that's 6 hours, and you get up to the premier training assist, which is 2 days. And all of them are good in their own way. All of them give those facts, and many of the longer ones will give you an idea of how to assess the risk in front of you. It doesn't make you into a doctor, doesn't make you into a psychologist. It just knows that, just like you would know that something's wrong when you check someone's temperature or when they're having breathing difficulties, you know that in this space you can understand the emotional vital signs that you need to look for and see where people, particularly when they're isolating themselves, they're not engaged, they don't find fulfillment out of the things that they usually enjoy, That's a key. Someone that's really loved fishing, and all of a sudden they just spend all day watching TV. There's a key indicator without having a degree from uni to know that there's something not right.
Oh, excellent, and thanks for that. And I tell people, and please elaborate on it, is I'm not a clinician, so I don't give advice. I give information. So you're not tracking well, I can tell you where to go to get help. So is that something that you press as well? Is that important? Like, we're not just talking defence now. We're not just talking community. We're talking societal. We're talking all of us together. Suicide can affect all of us. So is that something you push as well?
You've hit the nail on the head there, because often people are fearful about being involved and doing some of these courses because they think I've got to give advice and I'm then responsible for my advice. Not at all. It's about having information so you can provide more information, the best information, and then hand that on, refer on to the right people if need be. Sometimes it might be just we need to go and have a coffee and de-stress, but maybe it's about sharing that information and getting the right advice at the right time. You'll find that people, once they realise that they can be an information source, they are empowered to take their role in this.
Yep.
Rather than thinking, oh, well, I don't know what to say. What if I say the wrong thing and then nothing's said and then things get worse? Worse because I'm silent, worse because that person's looking for you to something to say when all you really need to say is sometimes nothing at all but a smile and ask the question and know what to say if the answer's no.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't stress enough, don't jump on negative bandwagons, or whether it's with the department, whether it's with the Department of Health, whether it's with Defence or anyone. Be a part of the solution, people, and help people. The negativity just spirals negative energy and hate. Let's be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Absolutely. I mean, we believe in, particularly in Townsville, we're talking about the action plan I just mentioned, that there is the only way that there will be a vision for change is that the whole community is involved. At the point in which they feel comfortable being involved, they're overwhelmingly informed about their role, and that might just be a warm handover to someone else that is professionally qualified to deal with an issue. But it might be just taking your mates out for fishing. And if we know that, and our energy is about change rather than what hasn't gone right in the past, we will get there and we'll make the change that's needed.
Definitely. And in closing from me, if someone is at risk, please call the professionals. Please call the professionals. Okay.
I really thank you for this opportunity to listen to me speak today, and I really appreciate Phil asking me to come on, because even though this is going out to a certain audience, we're all part of this. We're part of the community, and we're all here to support each other, and that's how we'll get that change.
Definitely. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk soon.
Cheers. Bye.